Well, welcome to the Dutchman's Wood Shack, everybody. Um, I'm Jeff. I'm the Dutchman. I'm also Jeff's trains HO and an O gauge. So yeah, I got two. It's but two hobbies. And in case you guys didn't know, at the other end of the wood shop, which I'm going to show you here, there's the train room over there. Okay, so I have the light off. You can't see it, but okay. So since I haven't been around much, one of the reasons is because I had hip surgery, so I got to keep it light, and I can't do much, unfortunately. Um, it's been like 7 weeks, going on 8 weeks. Come Monday, next Monday, um, a week from today, I guess, that I had surgery, so I got to keep it low key. I'm getting better all the time, up and down days. So anyway, what I've been doing is I did turn. I started turning this thing about a month ago before I had surgery, right? And it's a piece of pear tree I had cut down in my front yard a couple of years ago. Hey, how's it going? Welcome. So what happened was it cracked. You know, it's kind of like you don't want to press your luck on it. I didn't want to have to worry about so you can see the cracks in it. So, and it was inside too, yeah, right there. So, anyway, it is loose, and I thought about, well, would it be worth saving? Probably not, because see the outside, I had a lot of work to do still to finish it, sanding it, and I could probably glue it. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. It has some really nice grain to it, but okay. So, and I actually started. That was probably I had it. I think I had it like half. I gouged it like halfway down, and then I stopped and had the surgery, and then went back to it again, and so I had this. So I don't know. I said see what it I've been doing in the meantime. It's a light work. I've been working on my train set. It is woodworking, by the way. It's a form of lance. It's intense. It's intense. If you've seen my stuff on my channel, hey AV, how you doing? Nice to see you guys there. Um, if you want to check out what I've done, go to Jeff's Trade World HON and O gauge, and you can see some of the stuff I've done. I'm in the middle of like landscaping right now and doing resin work. Actually, I have a lake I built, and the idea is I've got this lake I want to use resin on, but I'm not quite sure what kind of resin. I went looking for resin today, and wouldn't you believe it? I couldn't find anything. It's all like the really thin stuff you use on decks and floors, and you know, so I can't find it anywhere. That's the other thing. So I don't know why this isn't sticking. I'm doing okay. Been there, done that. So this one here is made out of coal wood I brought back from Hawaii, and it has some good grain to it. And when I go to Hawaii, I usually pick out some stuff. I actually shipped it back, so I do turning rounds. I've got a bunch right here. So like this, I figured this would be a good box. Even though it's got a corner cut off it, I thought I'd make this a good box. But again, you see cracks in there. And see, here's the thing about Hawaii. Most excuse me, most wood over there is not kiln dried unless you request it. Anyway, so tonight I'm going to show you something here. Tonight, this is tools. I got tools of the night or tools of the week. So I got 4 tools here. And you got to name them all, figure out what they're used for. So I'll show you this one here. They're actually used for the same thing. Not the same purpose, but the same thing. Or maybe it is. I don't know. This one here. Of course, you can see. I'll take care. I got to clean that sucker up. No, it's not a back scratcher, although I could probably do it. But you put a big scratch in there. Now, this one, you can adjust. Go in and out. Okay, so there's a carbide tip there. There's a carbide tip there. These are carbide tipped here, and so is this. And then this. Now this doesn't have a carbide tip in it, but it's got a point, and it's got a diamond blade on here. Okay, so you can adjust it here. It's got a measuring deal on there, like a tape measure. So I know what they are, and they're used for a particular kind of job. Okay, what are they? Okay, so in the meantime, I'll talk about something else. You guys figure it out. I'll talk about something else. Now, when I turn a bowl, okay, I'm looking for particular kind of wood. My biggest problem is trying to find wood that has grain in it that isn't compacted. Now, the problem with wood like this, I'll put this over here. The problem with wood like this is it's one-dimensional. When I say it's one-dimensional, it's because it's like this. You've already cut the tree down. So technically, if you're a turner, you want something that's like that thick. But you can do segmenting. So you see how the log is. You see how it's cut with the grain going that way, right? So if you're in a tree, that's close to the center of the tree right there. So you're going like this in a log, and you're somewhere in the middle with this piece, right? When they section things out, they in a sawmill, it's not all the same dimension. In other words, it's not cut this size. This is like a 1x6. They won't cut 1x6s all at once. It's a 1x6, maybe a 2x4 or 4x4 or something like that, and maybe a 1x2. But when they go through the tree log, which is, well, I don't want to get it out like this, they'll go, and I've posted, I don't know if I've got it on here or not, but I've posted a couple of times how a tree is cut up. Now, not every sawmill is like this, but if you've ever gone to a sawmill, you'd see what I'm talking about. They cut things up a certain way, which is kind of cool. It's nice to go to a sawmill. Now, I think this is a hickory. I'm not sure. Anyway, see, now this type of wood, it has a softer grain to it. Same idea. You could say, I could use this. I don't know where I got this from, but see, I can use this to segment. The idea here with me is if I'm segmenting, it's going to be light, dark, all right? So there's another piece, this walnut, all right? So it's got good grain content to it too. And this is another piece, I think it's the same piece maybe, I don't know. But it's like that. See, now what you want to do is, the idea is if you're going to segment, you could do rings. and do it to where it's light, dark, light, dark. Now, the typical way that they do it is, if you've seen guys do segmenting, they can make a ring, and whatever, I'll show you. Like this. Okay, so that's the typical way you make a ring. So usually you have something at the bottom, a solid piece. But then you start making the rings. Now there's a reason for it. There's a couple of different ways of doing this. You're not wasting the wood in the middle. So, okay, where are they? Maybe I should make a hat. There you go. So, dusty. Anyway, so that's another way of doing some woodworking. My way, now I've done it this way, and I've done it this way too, with the segmenting, where you basically size it up and you glue 4 pieces of wood together like this, and then you turn it. Or you could cut them. You could do them. There's that way, and there's that way. So, and it is the pros and cons about each way of doing it. That's the other thing. So, as a woodworker, understanding, okay, so this is part of you. Okay, I'm talking about you. Whatever you like to do as a woodworker, just do it. Don't forget, I like to do different things other than people. I scavenge wood. A lot of the wood I got over here is, I have wood flooring somebody gave to me once. I've got baseboard. I've got crown molding. I've got old, over here in the corner, there's a piece of barn beam. It's like a 12 by 12, and how they put it together. I teach people about how that's done. That piece of wood there, that came from Gerald Vance, the Appalachian Heritage Woodshop. When I visited him last October, that's a piece from him. Great guy. So look him up on here, Appalachian Heritage Woodshop. The guy is really awesome. That's the guy to learn real Class A1 woodworking. He teaches this stuff. He's in Culloden, West Virginia. But a good friend of mine. So now my big thing though is I like to get different colored wood, and I like to make bowls that are about this size. There's problems to doing them deeper. Now I'll make a vase or a vase. I'll make a vase. The problem with the vases is you're going deep, and sometimes you want a narrow neck on them. And the difference is trying to get your tools, if you don't have all the tools, you need to go down at least 7 inches. Because I've done some that are 7+, and it's getting dicey with not having the proper tools. You can't just use the gouging tools, your old ones, because you're only going this far with the steel, which is about 6 inches. You need to go another 1.5 inches, 2 inches. You're hanging it out there for a disaster. And so when I get to doing a vase again or something, I'll show you what I'm talking about. It takes you a lot longer to make a vase. For me, it takes me a lot longer because I end up using Forstner bits, drill bits and Forstner bits to clear out the middle, so that I can just bring my gouging tools and clear it out. So, but I enjoy doing the whole thing. The problem I have is I get picky. I like to I'll make a bowl with this. I'll take this and I'll size it. See, I ran this one through my thickness planer to get the finish off, because a lot of I get about 1,000 feet of this stuff down here that has finish on it. I got from a guy I know that works at a store. He gave me a bunch of it. He said, well, $20, it's yours. And I probably got $500 worth of wood for $20. So, but you can use this. It just takes time consuming, because you got to cut the tongue and groove off. and process it, and it does take a little bit more time. Sometimes you just want to go out and buy a new another piece of wood that's already been done to. But you know what? Where's the fun in that, right? And I've also taken 2x4s. Now this 2x4 is actually off a skid from a pallet. Now this is kind of different. If you look at the way the wood is, okay, I don't know if you can see it. You see that kind of wormy look on it? It doesn't show up on camera very well. But anyway, it's got a wormy look to it. I don't know if you guys can see that. See, my camera is not really good on this. There it is, right there. Well, wait a minute. I just had it. What did I do? Right there. Anyway, when I've used this to make things out of, it's awesome. It looks good. The only bad part is this. Now I've made bowls, but the holes add character to it, and people like that. Now, as far as pine, you can use pine, but pine is Is to me, this is all pine here, right? A lot of this pine I use to train with too. So, if I was going to teach you how to do stuff, I got okay. So I got this. I have this, and I got this. Oops. I swear I'm going to kill myself in here. Okay, so this is a piece of pine. This is just a pallet slat, and I was showing somebody how you could turn something out of a pallet slat. Now, I think one of my tools was a little bit dull. And you could make, I mean, this is kind of cool. It's got a good grain to it. It's just been sitting here collecting dust. And I can hollow that out. I've got on the drill press. I didn't take that off. I didn't use a chuck with this. I just used two spindles. And this one, same thing. It was just a 4x4 piece of, I don't know if it was a log. Yeah, it was a log or something. But I stopped. I turned it because it was kind of punky and the way it was coming out here. Now, I could probably finish it. I mean, I'd have to put a dowel, make either a mortise or a tenon. I'd probably just make a tenon in here, stick it on my chuck, and gouge that out. Actually, you know what I do with this? Sometimes I'll use a Forstner bit or a drill bit and just drill it out. And sometimes that's easier than me playing around with it. So, but what's cool about this is and this is where I use pallets. I could get pallets a dime a dozen anywhere and it didn't cost me anything. And you can use them for all kinds of stuff. You don't have to use them for turning. You can make birdhouses. Made a birdhouse back here. I mean, that birdhouse in the corner I made, it's oak pallet slats. But again, you're spending time doing stuff. I usually take and run it through the thickness planer and then have to cut it down and do all kind of stuff. But hey, I'm saving money too. Although time is money, right? So at the end of the day, when I'm doing this kind of stuff, I'm retired, but I do side jobs for people. My big thing is making furniture, and there's a tabletop that goes on one of my pieces of furniture, but nobody's buying anything. And the way the economy is now, who knows? Next month I've got a farmer's market, but it's actually an art market. I'll be doing it the third weekend of the month in Batavia, Illinois, and myself and my wife included. My wife's going to be selling her glass, and I'm going to be doing my woodworking. But I got to come up with something different, and that's the thing. When you're doing something, do these art shows, you got to come up with something different than the other guy that I could sell. But it has to be between $25 and $50, because I can tell you right now, if you're selling things above $50, that's like a bowl. I gotta buy it. You think you're gonna buy this for $50? I doubt it. Even though it's worth more than $50, This thing here is probably worth $50 by itself. So again, when you're doing stuff like this, are you doing it for fun or are you doing it for a living? And that's where tools come in. If you're doing it for a living, if you don't have a CNC router and you don't have a laser, you're going to waste your time, because those two help you make a lot of, like, you're going to build a cabinet. Instead of using a router like I use in a jig to do panels for doors on cabinets, it's quicker to do it when you can punch a number and do all this stuff and boom, have the CNC router do all that kind of stuff. And you're not doing it anymore. It's basically the machine doing it for you. And that machine would be working for you at the same time you're doing other parts of whatever you're building. So me, I just do it and have fun. I've been in the trades for a long time, building houses, doing property management, doing all kinds of stuff, and I enjoy doing what I'm doing. But as long as I'm retired and don't have to worry about making any money, I'm okay. But woodworking is very difficult. So is being a mechanic too, by the way. Unless you're an IT person, a teacher, or a doctor or a lawyer, you're not making any money. So, and the thing is, I started out as a firefighter. So I was a mechanic and a firefighter at the same time. And I did the wildland firefighter for a while, and it was a good job, except you didn't get paid squat. When I started out with a family, it was like one of those things, the family comes first and the job comes second on that one, because you can't have a family and work that at the same time. It was very difficult. So I went with my wife. So anyway, long story short is whenever you're doing woodworking, check into your knowledge of the wood. Make sure that you know what the wood, what you want to accomplish, whether it's cabinet making or turning pieces of wood, and think outside the box. Don't be like the other guy. It's okay to be different. It's okay to make something bizarre, because that's me. And don't try to be like the guy in the club. Like, I love my clubs are in, okay? One does one aspect of a woodworking, the other one does the other one. But the most intriguing one for me is the Turner's Club, the Windy City Turners. They always have somebody doing something really nice, doing a demo at a meeting, but at the same time, the guys that are in it come up with some unique things on their bowls and whatever items they have. And it encourages me, and it should encourage you guys. That's why I tell people to get in a club, because it'll teach you. You'll learn off of somebody else, and you go do your own thing. So anyway, I'm going to get off. I'm going to go start a segment on my train layout. So if you're around later, look for Jeff's Train World, HON and O Gauge, and I'll be on there because I'm in the middle of doing some construction work, only with plaster of Paris and wires and all kinds of bizarre stuff. So, and this again, my train setup, my layout will show you that I'm way different than anybody else. So anyway, you guys, thanks. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the Dutchman's Wood Shack, please do so. Same thing goes with the Jeff's Train World. If you want to go check that out, subscribe to that. So every time that I come on, you guys see it. It'll let you know. Thanks again, and guys, have a great week.